future generations was always an important value, but today I think it is quite common to see that environmental consideration and social one will be in the future more dominant in process of decisions making. It is already, we can see it already today in all levels, municipal level, national level, and looking at the way that my daughters understand this issue, I know that in the future it will be much more dominant. And the right way to adopt such values goes through education from a very young age, to encourage our children to take responsibility and to be involved in the wider sense in preserving environment. I praise this initiative of the International Conference for Environmental Leadership of Youth, which its aim is to promote through knowledge, abilities, innovation, thinking of youth from our country and all around the world in order to bring those issues, environmental issues, as viable issues on the agenda. I see importance in such an educational task, which his aim is to encourage youth from all religions, nationalities, to act in a way that preserve environment. To develop research that will increase our ability to preserve environment for us and for future generations. And this is our expectation from the adults of education system, to lead a society based on way of life which take as a very important motive and principle preserving environment for them and for future generations. Preserving the environment is, of course, a mutual interest of all of us, and indeed I'm happy to see here representatives of youth from all around the world, not only youth but also educational teams from all around the world. Finland and Italy and Germany and Poland and Taiwan, and I'm sure I forgot some important countries, but I think this gathering of youth finds something which I know is something which is very important from youth from all around the world. So we have here a common task for our young generation from all around the world. And this conference for youth leadership is also expressing our perception and our understanding. Yechiel, you came from Ramat HaGolan. Our perception and our understanding that youth can promote the issue. And for that, we chose a very good address, a very good place to do it in, and this is the Educational Institute of בכפר הירוק, which is an important institute when we are talking about the issue as a whole, and especially when we are talking about the issue of the environment. Educate about 1,300 students in an excellency and leadership tracks relevant for the issue of the environment. Today in the ministry we are in the middle of a very wide action aimed to turn environment studies to be an integral part of the curriculum and life in our schools and among our youngsters. Today we are authorizing what we call green schools. We are rewarding schools which are excellent in environment education. We are promoting research works in the high schools, and we have a special plan with the Environment Ministry that will begin this year, 1 week from now, in about 200 schools, which is a very serious program on the issue. In that respect, I want to say that this Center of Studies in the בכפר הירוק will turn from an experimental center to an authorized center for international knowledge. And this is, I think, a very important thing from this place. And a center that knew how to develop knowledge of excellency in learning and teaching and in this issue of the environment. And I am sure that in the future it will be a source for learning, for educators, for people from the academy, from this country and from all around the world. I want to thank the teachers that knew how to promote this tendency or this willingness among children which felt close to the subject. I want to thank the parents, because I think that parents are important also in the process of bringing youth to know the issue, even though that usually today the children are those who bring the parents to this issue. I want to bless everyone here that environment is valuable for him. I want to say for youngsters from all around the world, you have the opportunity to take with you all the society in the countries you are living in and bring it to a different way of understanding this issue, because when we grow up it wasn't so important and central as it is today. So you are the ones that can take also your parents, your families, and change practice of life in a lot of aspects, and in that way change the reality, change our world. I want to take this opportunity also to, because we are before the Jewish New Year, to say Shana Tova for everyone here, and for those who will begin to learn next week, also good year of learning and satisfaction from learning. Thank you so much.
Dr. Kinderman, the Honorable Ambassador of the Federal Republic of Germany.
Mr. Minister, Mr. Rabin, ladies and gentlemen, dear students, well, it's really a pleasure to be here the second time. It shows that, well, there's tradition in Israel, and it's nice to follow it, and hopefully I will participate in the next years too. Leadership is important in any society, especially important in a free society. Because in a free society, we have always to discuss which way we will take. We have to modernize our society. We have to bring the feelings of all the people in the discussion. It must be a free discussion. And Germans and Israelis have in common that we both are living in a free society. And therefore we share the same ideas in a lot of issues. And therefore I think it's very important that you are concentrating on leadership, because in this dialogue of a free society, we need the young generation. Because we need your feeling of life. And it's not like that only the old people have a feeling of life. Maybe we have a bigger experience of life. But that's not the important point. For leadership, it's important to bring in the feeling of life. And a new problem you can discuss as a very young man. If you look to the prominent scientists, they make the big discoveries when they're very young. And therefore, I think we need your leadership in this way, that you bring in your feelings, that you bring in what you see in the society, that you bring in your thoughts, which way we should take, and that we discuss it. And in a free society, there is no ranking. When it comes to ideas, there is no ranking. When it comes to experiences, and therefore we are all partners, we are equal partners, and therefore I think you did absolutely the right to choose leadership as one of your main goals, especially when it comes to environment. And there's a second point which is very important, the Minister Saar just pointed out. In our societies, leadership is always linked to responsibility. It's a nice experience for one generation, if you look to the young generation, through the children, through the grandchildren, to everybody, that we have the idea that you're responsible, that you're very serious by taking responsibility, maybe sometimes more serious than me and my group in our age, and therefore we feel very comfortable with you. And this is this is a bridge between the generation, and this is a solid fundament for the future. And we thank you for this. You play your share, and we will take our share too. Thank you.
Mrs. Dalia Rabin, Chair of the Rabin Center.
Minister of Education, Mr. Ambassador of Germany, distinguished guests, the Kobi, Nave, and the staff of בכפר הירוק. It's not easy to talk after you, Mr. Ambassador. I can only actually support and follow whatever you said about leadership. The Rabin Center, among other values that we convey and that we believe in, we believe that Rabin represented a certain kind of leadership, and we would like to encourage this kind of leadership, especially when it comes to environmental issues. So I will be short, and I just want to congratulate you all for coming over to Israel to join this wonderful program, second year in בכפר הירוק, that we support and host and participate in. And I wish you all a very fruitful time in Israel, very interesting, and I'm looking forward to see you all as leaders in your countries, coming back to share with us your experiences. Good evening, and thank you so much.